Welcome back to a new video. So this was my training session from Thursday and Friday. With my little knee tweak that I had earlier in the week, I was a little concerned that I wouldn't really be able to train very hard on this day. I ended up being able to train basically normally. Still kind of have some apprehensions to it because I will feel it sometimes, but it's nothing that's really major. It's actually pretty similar to what I'll do with my other leg at different times, but it's nothing that will, as you see, really limited me as far as the weight I was able to try. When I got the clean and jerks, I was definitely feeling it a little bit more. Interestingly enough, I had a very similar feeling on Saturday. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. On Saturday, when I did my heavy singles, where I was able to train pretty normally with snatches and then clean and jerks, I started to feel a little bit, but then once I got moving, it didn't bother me at all. I was just bad at lifting like normal. But on this day, I was able to work up to 100, and they weren't really the best reps. Well, I should say the reps were at 100, and I pushed up to 120, where I missed it 3 times and made it, or twice, and then made it on the third one. I missed 110, I think once, and then made it. So certainly not the best reps, but I was able to do some triples at 100. Not all the best reps, like I said, but a lot of that's just because 100 is a challenging weight for triples for me, of course, but also the apprehension with the knee. But really, I wasn't feeling it on any of these reps. So you see, like there, it's kind of like a makey miss. And when I have these blocks at the gym, I try not to run out lifts unless it's like, the top set or something, or unless I'm really confident that I can stabilize it. Is like there as well. I don't know, it was weird because it's like I caught it pretty decent. It was just not in the exact right spot, and so I didn't want to run it forward, and it just wasn't there long enough for me to truly call it a rep. But I'm essentially doing a Korean triple, I guess, but I think I make it on this third rep here. Maybe I just miss it 3 times. That would totally be something I would do. But it was 4 sets of 3, or at least attempted 4 sets of 3. I didn't try to do makeup reps or anything like that. I just pushed up after. The clean and jerks, once my knee felt better after I warmed up with 70 a couple times, felt really good. I was really hoping to do the 140 for a 2+1, and I was able to do that. Last week, I missed that for the jerk. I was able to do 130, and so I was able to increase that this week. I'll be really curious how I feel next week if I'm able to be fully recovered. What was kind of interesting as well is that I have a bit of a cold, so I don't know if I took cold medicine on this day, but the little cold medicine pills that I have, there's 2 in a packet, and I think each one it has the cold medicine stuff. I always look at the acetaminophen because I don't want to take tons and tons of that if I can avoid it, because I don't want to take pain medicine to avoid pain just to train. Obviously, if I'm getting day 4 competition or something like that, then there's no limit to what I'll do as far as taking some acetaminophen and just not doing anything or whatever. I don't really know what I'm even trying to say there. It sounds more devious than I actually mean. Basically, I don't hesitate to take some before competition or maybe a super important heavy training day, but on a normal training day I try to avoid it. But one of the benefits of having a cold is that you get to have some acetaminophen for your training, so usually your joints get to feel a little bit better for those couple days, but it's usually kind of evened out because you're a little bit more achy because of the cold. Now, thankfully, I wasn't really having any symptoms of fatigue or anything like that. It was really just a stuffy nose and a runny nose. It's really stuffy, and then when I start to train, it starts to get runny, which is a terrible thing when you're trying to train and you have a runny nose. So the cold medicine was helping with that. But what I was saying about the 2 pills is I've just been taking 1, so I guess half the potential dose that you can take with those. But there's 2 pills in each of the packs, and if it's really bad, obviously I'll just take both. But I took 1 either this day or on the heavy day, and then I think I took 1 before I went to bed, because there's the nighttime version, since my nose was just kind of stuffy at night. But I try not to, like I said, go crazy with that stuff unless I'm, truly feeling bad. And then I don't really care how much medicine I take. I want to, not feel so bad. But pretty minor cold, but really just kind of helping with the sinuses. I don't know if it's probably not allergies or anything. I've never really had those, but who knows? Maybe I'm getting old and developing them. But basically the point, I'm mentioning all that, is I got to have some acetaminophen. It's always nice with that, but certainly it's not something you want to depend on to just get through like a training session. But it is kind of a nice benefit of having a cold here. And so here is 130 I did for 2+1 before going up to 140. I decided not to do reps on clean jerk on this day. I think it's just too brutal to try to do like 5 sets or whatever. So I basically just work up, still doing the 2+1. So I think that's good enough for clean jerks. But I kind of like how the week is structured, and I kind of want to keep that. I think one change I might make for at least for next week, maybe for every week, but on Sunday is like a light day. I think instead of trying to do any sort of squat on that heavy day where I do the 10 singles or at least 10 makes that you'll see in the next session, I'll try to do some sort of squat today. Now, I haven't been the day after I do the heavy day, so I don't know how motivated I will be, because I'm recording on the day that I'm going to at least think about doing it. But I have to get some grad school work done, which isn't too bad. But I do have to get that done, and then, I'm going to edit the video and stuff. So there's like normal stuff I have to do, but it's not really too bad. My life's not really that difficult. So I don't, for me, it's more so like, do I actually want to go and squat? So we'll probably go and try it. If my knees feel weird, or if I go out there and I'm really not feeling it, then I won't. So I might go live with that, but obviously this will be posted the day after that. So you'll know listening to this if I actually squatted or not, if there's a live stream of it. I guess there's always a potential technology not working. I tried to do doubles here at the front squat, and I was a little nervous with my knee, but I honestly was feeling good at this point, so I wasn't really worried about it, and I was able to push through it. But on the second double, you can see how close I got. I just couldn't keep my front rack up. You see it dip down and just lost it. Speed was fine, the bounce was fine. It just wasn't able to keep my back up long enough with that. But my philosophy on these EMOM days, they're not even really EMOMs, is essentially just to get 10 single makes, and I think for me that will be sufficient. So being able to work up and wanting to feel good on each rep that I do, but essentially just getting 10 makes in for the snatch and clean jerk, and kind of just starting that number at whatever. Like if I'm going to start at 100 or 90 or whatever, I want to have 10 makes at least 90, and of course I want to be able to push up. And so snatches on this day were kind of weird, but I think a lot of it's just apprehension with the knee and just thinking about it probably a little bit more than I needed to. But I was able to get up to, so I started to miss at 110, and then for some reason I didn't record. I think I just didn't record it for whatever reason. I messed up on the recording end of things, but I missed 110 twice, and then they were close enough, and I was like, screw it, we're going up to 115. I made 115 twice. I went up to 120 then. I made it, missed it, and made it. So for me, obviously I want to be able to make all of the attempts I take building up to that number, but it was really encouraging to be able to attempt 120 multiple times, and to, here's the one miss. I think that was the second one, but I'm not exactly sure. And I kind of got really annoyed with the thumb tape because it was just griefing me the whole training session, but not much you can do about that. It was certainly warm out, which you certainly, like to see. There's also, if you look in the back right, a pupper. Winnie was there. You see Chase, and I think they're engaged. They've talked about getting married before, but they brought their dog because they clean on Sundays, and you see Winnie back there. So she's an adorable ADHD type dog. So I think she's napping back there. Thankfully, she was far enough away where I wasn't really making her more anxious. Sometimes if there's ever, a dog around, you're slamming stuff down. Obviously, they might not like that, but I think she was probably more anxious about the sweeping of the vacuum there. But and for me, like the vacuum or anything, oh yeah, I dropped down after that 120 and did 110 for 2 singles. The first one was really good. The second one wasn't as good, but I was glad to get 10 makes and to have them be at, make up for the 110s that I missed before, but to have 10 total singles that I made. So I guess there was probably 15, or not 15, like 13 total attempts that I made at a appreciable amount of weight, not counting the first couple warm-up sets. But I forget what I was saying, but I felt like I was talking about the dog. I don't know. I'm losing my mind slowly but surely. When I did the 70, I was actually feeling okay, but then I went to this 110, and the clean felt fine, but when I did this jerk, basically when my front foot landed, I was like, ooh, that did not feel good. I was like, I almost stopped right there. But I was like, you know what? We'll just do it again. It was, jumping from 70 to 110. Like, it's probably just, shock to there. And again, felt a little bit better. And it was really kind of at this point where it didn't really bother me. And the second 110 felt good enough. And then once I did this 130, I wasn't feeling it at all. But it was more like the apprehension of potentially feeling it was, I think, preventing me from really trying really hard at that first 130, and then really on this, kind of on the second. But as I kept going, I just kind of felt more confident. Yeah, that was the bad jerk, but I was just worried about it. And then so I did it for the third one. So it was the third one where I started to get more locked in. I started to really just believe that I wasn't going to feel the pain. And when you kind of have that apprehension, it's hard to commit to that. But really, the cleans felt good. Like, I wasn't having any issues with them as far as, the discomfort. But this is 145, and I actually did it 3 attempts. I guess we'll find out together. But I wanted to jump to this way instead of doing 140 because I didn't know if I'd be able to do 150 again. And then here's the second one. Kind of crashed on me on that clean and got pitched forward a little bit. So I believe this is the one that I missed. We'll see together. Yeah, so I just didn't have enough energy left on that. And I'm trying to think about the same thing on jerks as I am with the behind the neck jerks. So really just trying to push hard with my legs, but also just trying to time the jerk a lot better. So just try to get my breath, see if the bar, I'm not trying to create oscillation necessarily, but I'm not trying to prevent it. So I'm just getting a breath and then feeling that whip twice and then just going. So there was a third attempt that I made. So 3 of 4 with 145, which is, pretty heavy amounts of singles to do for me with that. And then was able to do this 150 here. Not the best jerk, but I was able to, as you see here, get that breath and then just go right into it. A little bit of a press out, but, I was single number 9. And so this was the 10th single, I believe. But I wasn't able to make it on this one. So the clean was pretty good, but I just ended up pushing it forward a little bit. It was a decent attempt, but I think honestly that was a lot more just fatigue. And after that, I did some leg extensions, some really light back extension stuff, really just kind of held in that top position of the back extension. Did a lot of leg extension just to get a pump, and those felt pretty good. And honestly, my knees feels pretty good today, so we won't really know until I go out and try to squat or whatever. But I got to get grad school work done before I think about that. And really, all of both the classes I have now are going well, so there's nothing really too crazy with it. Just kind of have to stay up on it, and usually I end up procrastinating until the day before assignments are due on the Sunday, since I don't have anything else to do in my life besides lift and play video games and whatever. But for me, it's always funny because they'll say something's due on today, the 30th, but because it's Arkansas time, Central time, it is technically for me 1 a.m. So it always messes me up when it says it's due 3:31. So I do always have to pay attention to that, because obviously I don't want to wake up tomorrow and think that I have another day to do something. But it always works out too, because most things are due on the weekend. So it's due midnight at Sunday, which is pretty logical for me. I'm not going to stay up to 1 a.m. to do something unless I absolutely drop the ball and forget something. But also, the weekends are the best time to get grad school work done. But yeah, 4 more classes in the summer, and then I am a master's graduate, and I'll have a lot more money to play around with and be able to start to move my finances forward, or at least save up money, because I don't spend much. But I have officially signed up for the meet on the 17th of May, so that much is already done. I haven't got my USAW membership again, because I'm going to wait till the month before, so I don't waste my money for a year one, because I usually only compete once in the year. And then so have that all squared away, and have made sure that Justin, my coach, quote unquote coach, basically my friend that goes and counts for me, is going to be available. Otherwise I wouldn't really be able to do a competition very well. And so that's all squared away. So just got to keep training hard and continue to try to progress. But I really think things are moving in the right direction, even though I have this little thing with the knee right now. The weights are moving in the correct way. I'm feeling stronger each week, even if not necessarily my squats are going crazy. My actual Olympic lifts are going well right now. So still want to improve the squat and stuff like that, because obviously leg strength is king. But if my weightlifting movements are going up, that's always a good thing. But that's going to be it for this one. I'll talk to you on the next one. I hope you have a great day. Peace.